Yeah, and I guess help with the leadership from all sorts of different areas. Like he sits back there and watches you guys play all game, so he's been around a long time. He probably has a pretty good eye for some things now and then, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely, like you said, he's been around a long time. He's seen just about every type of hockey game, so he has a real good feel for what's going on in the game, and like I said, he's not afraid to let us know what he's thinking, and I know our group really appreciates that.
Josh Clifferton, Canadian Press.
Hey Connor, the heater you guys have been on really sort of started with that OT win over Toronto back to the end of January. What's been different for your team over this stretch from maybe the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think we're just obviously playing better. I think special teams have helped, goaltending's helped. I think everyone's buying in and starting to really believe. I think that's the main thing. When everyone believes in what we're doing, I think that's when it gets real dangerous.
And we don't know if Austin's gonna play or not tomorrow, but just what have you made of his season and just the growth of his game, not only in goals but as well on both sides of the puck. Sorry.
Yeah, he's obviously playing great. He's so dangerous everywhere on the ice, and his face-offs have been good, and helping out defensively as well. So he's a special player, and he's definitely a big part of that team.
Kevin McGran, Toronto Star.
Connor, Kelly Rudy told the story on Hockey Night last week that when he played with Gretzky in Los Angeles all those years ago, and Gretzky would maybe watch the Penguins and see Mario have a great game, Kelly said that he just knew that Gretzky was going to go out and do something special that night too. Do you do that too? Like when you see a guy in the East, like you did last week, Austin Matthews had 4 points, you went out and had 5 points. Is that when good players playing earlier than you play great, does that motivate you a little bit more to play great?
I would say no. I guess no. I'm motivated every night. I want to be the best that I can be every single night. There's obviously guys that you watch and kind of compare yourself to, and like you said, when you see them doing well, you want to make sure you're doing the same. But I'm a pretty motivated guy. I think that's not an issue that I have each and every night.
Thanks a lot.
Reed Wilkins, 630 Chat.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Connor. Dave Tippett said last night that he loves Puljujarvi's reactions, the big smile he gets when he scores. Everybody reacts differently when they score. Some guys are subtle, some guys do a fist pump. He gets the big grin. What does his personality and those reactions do to the rest of the team?
Yeah, he loves scoring goals. Obviously, it's great to see his reaction. It just seems like he's little kid again when he scores, so it's definitely fun to see, and he's scoring a lot of them. So let's hope he keeps that same reaction.
I'm also wondering, Connor, if you could tell me maybe a little bit about the last 2 second intermissions in Vancouver. Obviously you guys were down on Tuesday. Last night you were ahead, but they had a pretty good push, late in the second period. What happens there, or what is said that has allowed you guys to come out and do so well in both thirds?
Well, I think again it's just that belief. Knowing we can play in any type of game. Obviously the first one in Van we're down 2, and we need to have a push ourselves, and then kind of the opposite in the second game where we're up and they've been pushing us real hard, and we need to kind of respond and settle things down. So kind of 2 polar opposites, but I liked how he responded to both situations.
Jack Michael, 630 Chat.
Connor, just a thought on the forecheck. Is it an identity that this team is starting to embrace in terms of every line being able to do it? Because when you look at the roster, you don't see a ton of guys that are 6'3", 220, but this team is doing it a different way. Is that something you've seen kind of rub off on amongst all the lines?
Yeah, I think so, and I think, it. it's kind of contagious throughout the lineup. You know, when you see one line doing it, you know, you want to do it, and then the next line wants to do it, and it kind of rolls over like that. And I think that's dangerous on a team. Like you said, we're maybe not the biggest group up front, but we have a lot of speedsters and guys that can kind of buzz around the ice and get in on the forecheck and get things stalled. So, yeah, it's definitely been a strength and something we need to continue to grow.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Connor, earlier in the year, obviously Toronto got the great start. You were 3-6. Now you've kind of reeled them into a situation where you're playing them 3 straight games, and maybe when this is over, you're in first place in the division. How important is it in this division not to just make the playoffs, but to actually finish first in the division?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you obviously want to win as many games as you possibly can, and I think this division is so tight from top to bottom. I mean, you look at what Ottawa's doing; they're getting themselves back into it too. So, you know, it's tight from top to bottom, and you need to continue to win games. Obviously, you know, winning the division is nice, but you know, I think we need to focus on ourselves and continue to grow our game and like I said, win as many games as we can.
And playing Toronto, is the temptation when you have so many good offensive players on both sides to not get into a track meet with them and to try to shut it down and win a 3-2 game? But it's difficult against Toronto. As you watch Toronto play a lot, it's difficult when you play Toronto because they can open it up.
Yeah, I think every time we play Toronto, the games have been pretty low scoring. You know, people kind of expect these big offensive nights, and I think both teams have that kind of respect for each other, where you know neither of them really want to open it up and let the other offensive guys get going. So you know, I think you can expect a tight checking little series here, and yeah.
Jason Greger, TSN 1260.
Connor, if you go back to January of 2020, in that span till now, you guys got the 3rd most points in the league. You're top 2 in offense. I think you're even 14th now in goals against. And I know you had that hiccup in the play-in. As painful as it was at the time, is that better for your team? Do you feel that you guys, you know the pain of it, but you learned from that, and that's going to propel you to be better this year?
Well, I'm not sure there's many positives to take from that plan, but I think the one thing is just how motivated everyone is. You know, everyone kind of came back with that kind of chip on their shoulder and that bitter taste in their mouth, and you know want to put together something special here. So, you know, obviously our start didn't show that, but you know, I thought, you know, over the last month here we've been playing real well, and you know, it's starting to show.
You guys have scored a lot this year, but especially during this winning streak, you've really limited the goals against. We heard for the longest time the best offense is a good defense. And do you feel that now? Like, does that take time to really understand how that works as an NHL group?
I think it goes back to Jack's question about the forecheck, and you know, if you forecheck well, win pucks back, you can play in the offensive zone, and you know, that limits their chances right there. You know, the more time you can spend down there is you know, less time they can have the puck and create chances. So that's a big part of it. I think the penalty kill has been really good, and obviously we're getting good goaltending. So I think all those things combined, you know, kind of add up to that.